A major win for international students in the U.S., especially those from the Caribbean. This as a U.S. court halts a Trump-era push to shut them out. But is it just a temporary pause? Tonight, a recruiter says the fight is far from over. Plus, 3 years of talks, now a done deal. The Public Hospitals Authority and Doctors Union signed an agreement, the union calling it a major win for the newly elected board. Prime Minister Davis questions the opposition leader's experience to lead the country, but do voters agree? We take you to the streets to get their take. Then in our news at 7:30, a family vacation in Grand Bahama takes a heartbreaking turn. Authorities say a man found unresponsive in waters near Deadman's Reef. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. A sigh of relief for Caribbean students, at least for now. This as a recent U.S. court ruling has blocked a Trump administration move that would have stopped international admissions at Harvard. While the decision keeps the doors open for now, questions still loom about what's next for students from our region. Delvado Emanuel spoke with an international recruiter who's sounding the alarm.
It was a controversial order that shook the global academic community, an attempt by the Trump administration to halt Harvard University admission of international students. And while the federal judge has placed that directive on hold, the ripple effects can still be felt far beyond Harvard's walls, including in our region. Dr. Alexandria Pinder has been recruiting and advocating for Afro-Caribbean and Bahamian students for over a decade. And while Harvard doesn't have a large Bahamian students population, she says what happens to Harvard could set the tone for other American schools.
Harvard being the leading university in the United States, everybody looks to them to see what they're going to be doing in order to see, if they break, will they stand?
So what's the standoff between the government and the university in the first place?
They asked the other institutions, right, which was report different things on their international students, such as, any infractions, any, records of students being arrested off campus.
And here's the thing, Dr. Pinder says many students are already feeling the pressure. Some have had their status terminated not by Washington, but by school officials who report to immigration.
It had a lot to do with the DSO officers in their reporting the information at the institution. I've even had students whose funding was put at risk because of their religious belief.
And the rules also change from state to state. Dr. Pinder says students in places like South Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina are feeling the most nervous.
You are arrested for whatever reason, your stuff can be terminated, and their police department is able to report to USCIS right away.
There are over 15,000 Afro-Caribbean students currently studying in the U.S., and Bahamians make up the second largest group. She warns too many students aren't paying attention to the rules that comes with their visa, and that's a big mistake.
This is the time to make sure you're following every regulation possible to make sure that you are not risking your funding, your immigration status in this country, and so on.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvado Emanuel.
All right, thanks for that, Delvado. After 3 years in the making, Public Hospitals Authority and Bahamas Doctors Union ending negotiations, signing a new industrial agreement. The president of the union calling it a milestone for the new executive board. Megan Shepard tells us what doctors can now look forward to.
Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville proudly announcing the Public Hospitals Authority and Bahamas Doctors Union have formalized their industrial agreement. A move the PHA says recognizes the changing needs of medical professionals in today's healthcare system. He says the deal guarantees fair and competitive working conditions for doctors across the board.
This agreement includes salary increases for all Bahamas Doctors Union members, with additional increments in year 3, 4, and 5, ensuring physicians are fairly compensated for their critical role in the healthcare delivery system.
President of the Doctors Union, Dr. Camille Glinton, says though it was a long process, they stayed the course, fighting for the needs of junior doctors. Noting that the last agreement was signed nearly 10 years ago, she calls today's agreement a milestone for the new executive team.
The group medical insurance and the changes to that. Also with the salary, that was a big push for us to get the time frame for the industrial agreement pushed backwards, seeing that we were expired since 2018. We also had with maternity leaves, that was included in there as well. So we have quite a few changes that just minor amendments that we really needed to be placed in this industrial agreement.
But the health minister admits money is always a challenge, which is why he says the Ministry of Finance was brought to the table to make sure every commitment can be honored.
The resources will be allocated from the Ministry of Finance to ensure that the commitments are met. And so as we move into the new budget allocation, I'm certain that this was taken into consideration and we are definitely in a position to live up to our obligations.
Dr. Glinton says the union remains committed to working with the PHA to address all needs going forward.
And we look forward to continued negotiations, continued working with the Ministry of Health for betterment, for improvement in the public system, for working conditions with our junior physicians, and we're excited about what the future holds for us.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Megan Shepard.
All right, thanks for that, Megan. Prime Minister Philip Davis stirring debate after publicly questioning Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard's ability to lead, calling his experience into serious doubt. With the nation closely watching, Joshua Williams hit the streets to get a pulse on how residents are reacting and whether they believe Pintard is up to the task ahead.
As the next general election seems to be on the horizon, both the Progressive Liberal Party and Free National Movement are heating up their campaigns, both taking shots at each other. Over the weekend, Prime Minister Davis said opposition leader Michael Pintard was unprepared to lead the Bahamas based on his professional and life experiences. These residents agree.
I ride brave all day. I don't know Pintard. I've never seen a way from Pintard.
Nah, he ain't ready for it. He ain't ready for it. I don't think, for me personally, Michael Pintard don't have the experience like to say to actually run it. He has one get there and say he's prime minister, but nah.
Pintard fired back at Davis, warning Bahamians not to be distracted by the Prime Minister's comments, describing them as stooping to a new low by the nation's leader, urging residents to focus on the national issues at hand. However, the Prime Minister questioned if Pintard ever had a real job, praising his own career as an attorney. But for this resident, that doesn't matter. He believes Pintard is fit to lead.
Because the way how he conduct himself, because this man who's a leader now, he's not a real leader the way he's supposed to be. He can't talk. It's not concrete. It's not looking up for the Bahamian in general. He's giving all the foreigners all the job.
This resident says despite Davis's view of Pintard, it wouldn't change the outcome. He thinks time is up for the Davis administration.
Well, he's saying that because he feels like he's going to win the government again, which is not going to happen.
As for Garfield Davis, Bahamians will simply have to deal with whoever is the new government.
Sometimes you talk a little bad about one another, but that's a part of the political game. Nobody need to feel all upset, get angry, and start no war with one another. Just go to the polls and vote.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks for that, Josh. A 15-year-old boy behind bars on a murder charge. Prosecutors allege the Kemp Road resident ambushed and shot 31-year-old Elroy Roll as he left a home on Williams Lane. The minor stood before Senior Magistrate Algernon Allen Jr. along with his guardian, but didn't have to enter a plea. The teen returns to court on August 28 to receive a voluntary bill of indictment. And a 52-year-old teacher accused of indecently assaulting two students was denied bail by a magistrate Friday. David King is alleged to have inappropriately touched a 12- and 15-year-old girl at a school in Exuma. The incident involving the 15-year-old reportedly happened on January 20th, while the case with the younger girl dates back to May and June of 2023. King didn't enter a plea when he appeared before Senior Magistrate Anishka Isaacs. He's due back in court on September 9th for voluntary bill of indictment. Well, summer still a few weeks away, but the heat already turning up. Temperatures climbing close to 90 degrees. Cable Bahamas group of companies safety committee kicking off a national campaign on Friday called Beat the Heat. Campaign is a shout out to all the team members who spend long hours working out in the field, doing essential work that keeps the company and customers connected. Technical Operations and Safety Manager Tamara Jones says the focus, teaching technicians how to stay safe while working outdoors in the heat.
We have hats with brims to make sure that they stay cool. We've given them water bottles, sweat towels. We've given them T-shirts that they can change throughout their work shift if they get too hot. And our screens are showing how do's and don'ts for when they're out there in the heat, when to take a break, when we have Powerades to keep them hydrated with electrolytes.
And technicians also given fruits and umbrellas to help them stay cool. Jones emphasized that the well-being of CBL team members remains a top priority, adding the executive team fully committed to keeping safety front and center.
This is not a one-time initiative. This is the first of many others to come to ensure that they stay safe in every environment they work in, whichever time of year it is.
All right, good stuff. We've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Happy Friday for real, Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Kenny, and happy Friday evening, everybody. Another warm day around the islands, and it is warm on the outside right now. 84 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds, and we are going to call it humid. East winds at 9 miles per hour, and your feels-like temperature is still very warm, 87 degrees on the outside. Temperatures right now around the islands, all in the 80s. Once again, 83 in Freeport, Marsh Harbour, Abaco, 81, 83s, Alistown, Bimini, and in Governor's Harbour, 82 in Great Harbour Key. And we have a pair of 84s in Nicholstown and Andros here in the capital as well. Central Bahamas, 82 Kemps Bay, Black Point, Exumas, Arthurstown, Cat Island. We pick up 84s in Georgetown, Exuma, Deadman's Key, Long Island. 83s, Coburn Townsend, Salvador, and Port Nelson. That's in the Rumpke area. 83 again in Duncantown, Ragged Island, Abrahams Bay. 84s, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, Acklands, Providenciales, Tricks, and Kickers Islands, and Deep South, Matthewtown, Inagua. You are the warm spot at 85. Satellite radar composite. We have a weak frontal boundary dropping across the northwest Bahamas, some showers and isolated thunderstorms. With that, could see 1 or 2 strong thunderstorms out of this, but that frontal boundary will stay across most of the northwest Bahamas, eventually pulling towards the east. Once that does that, high pressure builds in across our area for the weekend, and we are back to those warm temperatures once again. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your weekend forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, the group stage is complete. We have our team set for the semifinals. And next week, the top programs in the country will decide the national championships.
Hey, Greg Thompson here. And thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Hey, y'all gotta watch the Charlie Banana show this week, you know. Me and Battle could be on. We take over from Charlie Bahama. He ain't here no more. Me and Battle could be on. You see? And we got the creator of Collage Them, Stop Liking Man, and Tag on Everything. He could be on the show with Charlie Banana, okay? Saying? Cable Bahamas, channel 212, 8 o'clock Friday. Be there or don't.
When Team Bahamas took on the region at the 2025 Carifta Aquatics and Athletics Championships in Trinidad and Tobago, we were there. When the country stars of tomorrow announced their arrival to the world. When champions rose, records fell, and history was made, we were there.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. We have our 6 teams for the semifinal draw of the Samuel P. Haven Junior High School National Soccer Championships. The Laifiki International School Dragons, the 2025 BAISS Senior Girl Champions, eliminated the C.I. Gibson Rattlers in the tournament debut with a 4-0 win. In senior boy play, the Government School High School Magic Phoenix, the GSSSA Senior Boys runner-up, defeated the St. Andrews Hurricanes 2-0. In the final matchup, the LCIS Senior Boys pulled off the upset of the tournament, thus far defeating the GSSSA champions and the reigning national runners-up, the Anatole Rogers Timberwolves. The 3-0 win for the Dragons booked the final spot in the semifinal draw. It's early, but 2 games in, the defending WNBA champions have looked every bit of the part. Jonquil Jones and the New York Liberty set the WNBA record for most threes made in a single regular season game in the 99-74 win over the Chicago Sky last night at Wintrust Arena in Chicago. The UB Mingos Golf Program hosted their inaugural invitational at the Royal Blue Golf Course. The event featured over 60 golfers, and the winning foursome included UB golfers Darius Thompson and Rachel Kwon, along with former UB soccer head coach Dion Goodard and Andrew Benjamin. They finished with a net score of 34 under par. And of course, your 10YS Plays of the Week. That would do it for our sports. Stay tuned to our news at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as Trump threatens a 50% tariff on European Union imports. This as trade talks have stalled. Plus, with jails bursting at the seams, Britain's government considering forcing sex offenders to take hormone-suppressing drugs. And Universal just doubled down in Orlando with its biggest park yet. Epic Universe brings 5 new worlds. When our news returns.
When Team Bahamas took on the region at the 2025 Carifta Aquatics and Athletics Championships in Trinidad and Tobago, we were there. When the country's stars of tomorrow announced their arrival to the world. When champions rose, records fell, and history was made, we were there. Cable Bahamas, RTV, experience more.
Welcome to Journey TV.
I'm glad the Wally boys have split, because you know what? There ain't being no more competition.
The words on the Spelling Bee show with Ian Dallard.
Phosphorescent. Hey, it's the Charlie Bahama Show. Welcome, I'm your boy, Charlie Bahama.
New season of groovin' is here.
Hey, y'all gotta watch the Charlie Banana Show this week, you know. Me and Battle could be on. We take over from Charlie Bahama. He ain't here no more. Me and Battle could be on. You see? And we got the creator of Collage Them, Stop Liking Man, and Tag on Everything. He could be on the show with Charlie Banana, okay? Saying? Cable Bahamas, channel 212, 8 o'clock Friday. Be there or don't.
Bulk up your business and
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. United States President Donald Trump threatening to slap a 50% tariff on all European Union imports starting June 1st, saying trade talks with the EU are going nowhere. The move could raise prices on everything from cars to food and even iPhones, which Trump says should be made in America. The EU hasn't responded yet, but businesses on both sides of the Atlantic are said to be already rattled. Meanwhile, measles cases in the U.S. have surged past 1,000, marking the second highest total in 25 years, according to the Centers for Disease Control. So far, infections have been confirmed in 30 states, with nearly all cases involving people who were unvaccinated or whose vaccination status is unknown. 3 people, 2 of them children, have died. Health officials warned the outbreak could get worse, with possible exposures reported at airports, hotels, and even a Shakira concert in New Jersey. Britain's government is considering mandatory chemical castration for sex offenders as part of a controversial fix for its prison overcrowding crisis. Justice Minister Shabana Mahmood told lawmakers Thursday that a pilot program using libido-suppressing medication could soon become mandatory. It's one of several proposals aimed at easing pressure on jails, which hit record-high populations last year. The Labour government has already begun early prisoner releases to avoid what it calls a total breakdown of law and order.
I will go further with a national rollout beginning in 2 regions covering 20 prisons, and I am exploring whether mandating the approach is possible. Of course, it is vital that this approach is taken alongside psychological interventions that target other causes of offending, like asserting power and control. We must build prisons on a historic scale, deport foreign national offenders faster than ever, and speed up our courts. And yet still, Despite all that, we must reform sentencing too.
And Universal is going big in Orlando, Florida with the launch of Epic Universe, its newest and most ambitious theme park yet. The $7 billion expansion doubles the size of the resort and features 5 new worlds, from Super Nintendo to Harry Potter's The Ministry of Magic. Stars like Gerard Butler and the Phelps twins from Harry Potter helped kick things off on Wednesday, calling the park like walking onto a real set. Epic Universe officially opened to the public Thursday, marking Comcast's largest theme park investment to date. Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was May 23rd. Then in our news at 7:30, a mother on Grand Bahama who claims her 9-year-old was bullied and expelled from a local primary school, now on the hunt for answers. Plus, looking for extra cash, new skills, or just something to do? Well, thousands of students set to join government's summer program. We'll tell you how to sign up and what to expect when our news returns.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
When Team Bahamas took on the region at the 2025 Carifta Aquatics and Athletics Championships in Trinidad and Tobago, we were there. When the country's stars of tomorrow announced their arrival to the world.
On this day in Bahamian history, in 1901, was the first general meeting of the Imperial Order Daughters of the Empire Bahamas. The meeting was held at St. Andrew's Hall in Nassau. The IODE is a women's charitable organization based in Canada and provides scholarships, bursaries, book prizes, and other philanthropic and educational projects in various communities. Then in 1924, Preston Hilton Albury was born in Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera. Albury was an administrator, engineer, trade unionist, and politician. On March 9, 1980, Albury died at the age of 56. The high school in Rock Sound, Eleuthera, was since named in his honor. In 1997, the Bahamas and the People's Republic of China established diplomatic relations days after it had severed ties with Taiwan. Less than 2 months later, the Chinese government opened up an embassy in Nassau. 15 years later on this day in 2012 was the opening of Parliament, following the Progressive Liberal Party's landslide victory at the polls. In 2013 was news of widespread flooding 3 days after a severe weather warning ended. More than 3 inches of rain led to flooded homes in Pinewood Gardens that had residents bailing water for more than 2 days, some of them criticizing NEMA for not springing to action sooner. May 23, 2020, the country's COVID-19 cases hit triple digits, with 3 new positive cases taking the total number to 100. And finally, in 2020, an autopsy and toxicology reports showed 3 U.S. tourists who were found dead weeks earlier at Sandals Resort in Exuma died from carbon monoxide poisoning. Michael and Robbie Phillips of Tennessee and Florida resident Vincent Chiarelli were all found dead inside neighboring villas at the resort. The Bahamas National Trust celebrating a major fundraising milestone, raising more than $106,000 during its annual pig roast last year. The money being used to support the development of Seahorse National Park in Eleuthera. BNT President Joan Smith says the funds have already gone toward critical groundwork at the newly designed or designated park, which includes Sweetings Pond and Hatchet Bay Cave, which is home to what researchers believe is the densest population of seahorses in the world. The park became the country's 33rd national park in 2023, but Smith says fully developing and protecting the area will cost an estimated $500,000, and that means community support remains key.
We've cleared paths and trails, and we've cleared an area for parking as well. We just put in a temporary building that we will use as our office for that area. So we're making strides.
And speaking of more community support, BNT will host a $125 hybrid cocktail fundraiser at Buccaneers Restaurant. That's in Governor's Harbor, Lutheran, next Wednesday. Proceeds support ongoing park projects with both in-person and virtual attendance options available.
We have a fantastic online auction with fantastic items. We've got Bahamian art, lots of locally done craft and things like that. And then we also have vacations. So even if you can't come to the event, which is going to have live music, we are really looking forward to, we want to encourage people to go online and bid on the auction that we have.
All right, to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Up now, Natalia Hall. She's got the latest headlines. Happy for real Friday.
Friday, right? Yesterday, you were saying that you wish it was Friday and it was Thursday, so now we can say TGIF.
You know what? You know what I realized, though?
What's that?
My work week started on Sunday.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was here Sunday, so that Thursday felt like my Friday.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, well, Friday is here, so I hope you have great plans after work to go.
I thought we just talked about the things.
Yeah,
you know what?
okay.
Slamming me, man. Anyway,
all right.
I'll see you after the show.
For sure. Thanks so much, Ken. Well, coming up, looking for extra cash, new skills, or just something to do? Well, thousands of students set to join government summer employment program. We'll tell you how to sign up and what to expect. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on our news at 7:30, tragedy in the Deadman's Reef community on Grand Bahama. This as a tourist visiting Grand Bahama with family drowned. Hear what police are revealing about the discovery. Plus, former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram is facing pushback after comments suggesting Bahamian women lack urgency on citizenship issues. The head of Equality Bahamas responds. Also, a Grand Bahama mother is speaking out tonight, claiming her 9-year-old daughter was bullied and expelled from a local school under troubling circumstances. And later, time is running out for teens hoping to land a summer job through the government's youth employment program. The story when our news at 7:30 returns.
Once I had a gal, she called me pain. Left me in the cold and pouring rain. So I decided to put her down. I took a trip to Cowboy Town.
Inti Corporation is on the move, day by day, panel by panel. Our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, Inti redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucaya solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. Inti is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama as Inti Corporation shines brighter than ever. Inti Corporation, powering your world. Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall.
Well, police in Grand Bahama are investigating a tragic drowning that occurred this afternoon at a beach in the Deadman's Reef community. According to police, the victim appears to be a tourist who was visiting the island with family members. Press liaison officer Superintendent Stephen Rule spoke with reporters on the scene. He says it was shortly before 10 a.m. when authorities received reports of an unresponsive adult male found in waters off the West End area and confirmed no foul play is suspected.
As a result, officers responded. And upon arrival, they would have saw a Caucasian male in his mid-60s who appeared to be lifeless. EMS attended the scene. They would examine this male and found no signs of life. At present, Madam Coroner was also on scene, which would examine this male. EMS was also attended to the scene, and they would have examined this male and found no signs of life. An autopsy must be done to determine the exact cause of his death. This is an ongoing investigation, and as soon as we have more information for the media, we'll further update you.
A man is now facing an attempted murder charge accused of shooting his own half-brother. Prosecutors say Miguel Fox pulled the trigger on Darius Burnside during a fight at Swingers Bar in Fox Hill back on April 18th. And here's where things get even more complicated. Burnside is also behind bars, charged with stabbing and killing Derek Smith at that same bar on that same night. As for Fox, he made his first court appearance before Chief Magistrate Roberto Rackley Friday, but wasn't required to enter a plea just yet. He'll be back in court on August 6th when prosecutors are expected to present a voluntary bill of indictment. For now, Fox has been denied bail, joining his brother on remand. Well, tonight, a Grand Bahama mother is speaking out, claiming her 9-year-old daughter was bullied, neglected, and ultimately expelled from a local primary school on the island under troubling circumstances. Now, she's demanding answers. Felicia Johnson says her daughter, Milan Russell, a 4th grade student at a local school in Grand Bahama, has been facing emotional distress since enrolling in September of 2024. She claims within weeks, Milan complained of being bullied, sometimes hiding in the bathroom for safety. But Johnson alleges her daughter's teacher dismissed the complaint, saying Milan was making it up. And that's when she visited the school's principal office and explained the situation.
Her response to me was, well, we don't have bullying in our school, and these things only started happening since your daughter came to the school.
Johnson alleges the situation escalated earlier this month when she claims her daughter was placed outside as punishment for 2 consecutive days alongside other students shortly after Milan reportedly began experiencing chest pains.
That is when I rushed to the hospital. When the blood work came back, the doctor had said to me that Milan had experienced a respiratory spasm. And then as a result of that, Milan was placed on Ventolin, which is asthma medicine, and Milan has no record or history of any health issues or asthma.
The mother says she then went to the school to speak with the principal about the matter the next day. Eventually, a meeting was scheduled.
I said, all I want is accountability and for an apology. I said, because this could have ended up worse. My child could have died. And the principal response to me was, we've been having behavioral issues with Milan, and Milan is always talking and she's not respectful. So I said to her, I have gotten only one call from the school to say that you guys had an issue with Milan, and that was dealt with.
She claims the principal says the punishment is a long-standing practice at the school. She admits her daughter is vocal, but Johnson believes her daughter's treatment may be personal, as she knows she graduated from the same school. She further alleges a comment was made that the school has been dealing with her mother for a long time.
The teacher that initiated the punishment for Milan was actually my 6th grade teacher, so I am no stranger to the school or, to the teachers.
She alleges the school's board chairman expelled Milan following a family member's confrontation on campus and for what the school says are false allegations Milan made about a teacher. Allegations, Johnson's claims, led to Milan being hit on the hand 20 times in one day. The mother says it was important for her to speak out.
I believe that the most dangerous place that we could place our children is not to have them see or understand or feel that they have the support of others.
Now we reached out to the school for a response to the allegations, but no one returned our call. Up to news time. Well, former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham making a controversial statement this week, insinuating that Bahamian women lack urgency on advocating for citizenship equality. You may recall that in 2002, an Ingraham administration held a referendum seeking to address this long-standing issue. The former Prime Minister's recent comments now prompting reaction from women's rights group, Equality Bahamas. We spoke to the executive director of the activist group, Alicia Wallace, who had this response.
We've heard from multiple men in positions of power or influence because of their name or positions that they have or positions they've held before, who have made statements in the public that suggest that there is no work being done, that no one is demanding these rights, no one is working toward these rights. And that's simply not true. Either they are completely ignorant and disconnected from the reality of what's happening at the national, regional, and international levels, or they are intentionally misleading the public. I can tell you that Equality Bahamas has been participating since 2014 when the gender equality referendum was announced by former Prime Minister Perry Christie. We were the only organization to run for 2 years an educational campaign, sharing information with people about the Constitution, the difference between the Constitution and legislation, and what these 4 bills meant in very clear, simple terms for everyone to understand.
The issue has made local headlines for several years now. Many may be wary of the topic, but Wallace stresses the significance of the matter, adding a Bahamian woman's inability to pass on her citizenship affects a child's birthright. She insists this matter requires all hands on deck and that we cannot solely rely on those in government.
And we have to recognize that they are very small in number and that in many cases, women who get elected aren't necessarily women who are feminist, women who believe in women's rights, or women who have the real support and backing of their colleagues. It is a lot to ask of women who are in these positions of leadership to carry the entire weight of the push for gender equality, where it is so contested and is presented as a controversial issue when we know that human rights are for everyone, including women. Yes, women need to step up and do more in Parliament. Men need to do the same. We cannot expect 7 people in a Parliament of almost 40 people to carry the full weight of this.
All right, well, fairly nice weather conditions to kick off the weekend. A little rain today, but wondering what else we can expect over the next 2 days. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg, what can you tell us?
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and welcome back, everybody, for a quick check on conditions around the islands and outside our studios. It is warm, 84 degrees with a few clouds, and it's on the humid side. East winds at 9 miles per hour. Your feels-like temperature is at 87. Satellite radar composite, weak frontal boundary across the northwest Bahamas, producing some showers and some thunderstorms across most of that location. That front will stay stationary for a bit, but it's expected to pull out towards the east. Once that does that, high pressure builds in across area for the weekend, and that takes us into next week, and we are going to return to those 90-degree temperatures once again. That's a quick check on conditions around the island. Stick with us, so look at your extended forecast. Still to come.
Still to come on our news, time is running out for teens hoping to land a summer job through the government's youth employment program. Find out what you need to know before the deadline hits straight ahead. Plus, a free health and wellness fair is coming to the 8 Mile Rock community this weekend with screenings, checkups, and presentations open to all. The story when our news continues.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Hey, y'all gotta watch the Charlie Banana show this week, you know. Me and Battle could be on, we take over from Charlie Bahamas. He ain't here no more. Me and Battle could be on. You see? And we got the creator of Collage Them, Stop Liking Man, and Tag on Everything. He could be on the show with Charlie Banana, okay? Saying? Cable Bahamas, channel 212. 8 o'clock Friday, be there or don't.
When Team Bahamas took on the region at the 2025 Carifta Aquatics and Athletics Championships in Trinidad and Tobago, we were there. When the country's stars of tomorrow announced their arrival to the world. When champions rose, records fell, and history was made, we were there. Cable Bahamas, RTV, experience more.
The Ministry of Youth is getting ready to welcome thousands of students into their annual summer job training program. Whether it's for extra cash, a new skill, or simply something to do, the program has many uses. Our Joshua Williams tells us how kids can sign up and what to expect.
The window of opportunity is closing for students looking for employment. With at least a week before the May 31st deadline, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture's summer employment program is nearing capacity. Youth Division Head Sandina Neely encourages interested students to use the online sign-up.
So if you are available, if you are able, you're invited to go to My Gateway and sign up and share so that our young people can gain as many opportunities as possible. So look us up on social media, look at the flyers. I'm sure that you all will post the flyers so that you can get your young people signed up. And you can always give us a call at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture at 502-0600. If you require any more information, hit us up on social media. Come to our offices so that we can share all the good things that's happening with our summer camps program for youth, for sports, and for culture.
So who's qualified and what opportunities are available?
We have apprenticeship programs for your young people who are between the ages of 15 to 17 years old. And we also have our corporate summer employment program for young people who are between the ages of 18 to 25 here in New Providence as well as in Grand Bahama. And throughout the Family Islands, we also have summer camp programs here in New Providence and Grand Bahama as well.
The annual summer program gives thousands of students real-world job experience with job training they wouldn't ordinarily get.
They can work in almost any industry that they choose. If they want to work in a law firm, in a bank, in hospitality industry. We also have for our apprenticeship camps, they can learn anything in the area of culture, whether it's pageantry, whether they want to do something with Junkanoo, art, straw work. In our youth apprenticeship camps, they can do videography, baking, culinary, woodwork. There are so many different avenues for our young people to choose.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
When Our News comes back from the break, the Urban Renewal invites Grand Bahamians to take charge of their health this weekend at a free wellness fair.
Coming up in sports, we update you with the latest from high school soccer nationals. JJ and the Liberty lit it up from 3, and your favorite Friday tradition, the 10YS Plays of the Week.
Welcome to Journey TV.
I'm glad the Wally boys have split, because you know what? There ain't being any more competition.
The words on the Spelling Bee show in the lad.
Hey, it's the Charlie Bahama Show. Welcome, I'm your boy Charlie Bahama.
New season of groovin' is here.
Hey, y'all gotta watch the Charlie Banana Show this week, you know. Me and Battle could be on. We take over from Charlie Bahama. He ain't here no more. Me and Battle could be on. You see? And we got the creator of Collage Them, Stop Liking Man, and Tag on Everything. He can be on the show with Charlie Banana, okay? Saying? Cable Bahamas, channel 212, 8 o'clock Friday. Be there or don't.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
When Team Bahamas took on the region at the 2025 Carifta Aquatics and Athletics Championships in Trinidad and Tobago, we were there.
Welcome to Our Sports presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. We have our 6 teams for the semifinal draw of the Samuel P. Haven Junior High School National Soccer Championships. The Laifiki International School Dragons, the 2025 BAISS Senior Girl Champions, eliminated the C.I. Gibson Rattlers in the tournament debut with a 4-0 win. Issa Borners, Brianna Smith, Jessica Wright, and Isabel Suarez scored goals for the Dragons. In senior boy play, the Government School High School Magic Phoenix, the GSSSA Senior Boys runner-up, defeated the St. Andrews Hurricanes 2-0. Ralph Jervis scored on a penalty, and Jawan Exalian added the second goal for GHS. In the final matchup, the LCIS Senior Boys pulled off the upset of the tournament, thus far defeating the GSSSA champions and the reigning national runners-up, the Anatole Rogers Timberwolves. The 3-0 win for the Dragons booked the final spot in the semifinal draw. Following the draw, the semifinals will take place on May 29th, with the final and third place games on May 30th. It's early, but 2 games in, the defending WNBA champions have looked every bit of the part. Jonquil Jones and the New York Liberty set the WNBA record for most threes made in a single regular season game in the 99-74 win over the Chicago Sky last night at Wintrust Arena in Chicago. Jones finished with 11 points and shot 3 from 4 from beyond the arc. She also added 7 rebounds and 4 block shots. In addition to the 3-point barrage, New York held Chicago to just 9 points in the second quarter. The Liberty are 2-0 on the season with an average margin of victory at 20 points per game. The UB Mingos Golf Program hosted their inaugural invitational at the Royal Blue Golf Course. The event featured over 60 golfers, and the winning foursome included UB golfers Darius Thompson and Rachel Quant, along with former UB soccer head coach Dion Gooded and Andrew Benjamin. They finished with a net score of 34 under par. The team of Larry Wilson, Shadow Wilson, and UB Board of Trustees member Dr. Barry Rassin and Brian Jones took second with a net score of 31 under par. The team of UB golfer Travis Cartwright, Andrew Bell, David Knowles, and Kelsey Roll took third with a net score of 30 under par. It's Friday, and it's time for the best segment of the week, your 10YS Top Plays. At 5, we start all the way in Ecuador with the 16U national team, Kaizen Dorset leading the tournament with 4 runners thrown out. At number 4, someone who makes a lot more money playing baseball, Sebastian Walcott capped a ridiculous 6-game stretch with his 3rd home run against Corpus Christi. At number 3, back to Ecuador and the people playing baseball for free. Elvis Pardo, first at-bat of his first game, and the first swing is an absolute moonshot to left field. Big Papi vibes. Coming in at number 2, the only thing left on the resume for Jonquil Jones, winning WNBA Defensive Player of the Year. She shows Angel Reese, it's no games in here. And finally, at number 1, we're talking about JJ and her resume. History-making moment for Bahamas basketball, the ring ceremony we've all been waiting on. The finals MVP makes it official. That would do it for our sports. I, for one, am happy that it's the weekend. It's time to recharge the battery. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on our news tonight, urban renewal is making health a priority. Free services and screenings are available to the Grand Bahama community this weekend. And Greg is back with your extended weather when our news returns. Stay with us.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
At RBC, we're proud to support Alive's Ultimate Business Makeover campaign for a second year. We know that micro, small, and medium businesses are vital to our economy. They drive innovation, and more importantly, they create jobs. By investing in their growth, we're fostering economic success, and together we can pave the road to a thriving business community.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed
This is our news. Welcome back. Before we get started with the satellite picture, we want to remind you that the National Hurricane Center has now put out their numbers, and we're looking at an above-average season for the Atlantic 2025 hurricane season. So we're asking you to get prepared. We'll start you off next week with some tips during the upcoming week, and that will prepare you for the Atlantic hurricane season. In the tropics, though, we have a couple of tropical waves moving across the tropical belt, one in the central South Atlantic and the other one approaching the north coast of South America. Those not showing any signs of development. The official start of the hurricane season begins on June 1st, and that runs through November 30th. In the far Atlantic, as I mentioned, just a few tropical waves out there, and we have one or two coming off the African coast. That tropical wave approaching the north coast of South America, that will stay well south of us, and then across our area, we still have that weak frontal boundary generating some showers and some thunderstorms. That will move out of our area for the weekend. High pressure builds across our area, and that should bring us some nice warm temperatures. Future forecast showing the moisture associated with that boundary still across the northwest Bahamas, falling apart, pulling towards the east and away from us through Saturday. Most of the activity staying in the Atlantic, and then we could see one or two residual showers across Florida moving in our direction. Boating forecast, really nice on the waters for the northwest and central Bahamas. East to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots. Seas running 2 to 4 feet. Low tide is at 11:49 tonight. Your high tide takes place at 5:42 in the morning. Southeast Bahamas, slightly stronger winds down there. We have a caution flag in place. Easterly winds 15 to 20 knots. Seas running 4 to 6 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, beautiful weather for the weekend, very warm temperatures expected, and those 90-degree temperatures once again popping back up for us by the early part of next week. We're asking you if you're doing anything on the outdoors for the weekend, make sure you drink lots of water and make sure you wear some protective clothing. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night. Have a great weekend, everybody.
All right, thanks so much, Greg. Well, forecasters calling for an above-average hurricane season, rather. The Bahamas Red Cross says they've been preparing for months. As the 2025 hurricane season begins in just over 1 week, the Red Cross is already on high alert. Behind the scenes, disaster committees have been meeting months before the official start of the season. Volunteers have been undergoing fresh rounds of training both locally and abroad, focusing on emergency response, shelter coordination, and mental health support. President Edison Sumner says the organization is maintaining a constant state of readiness, keeping supplies stocked and emergency plans reviewed across the country, including remote islands often cut off during major storms.
It's important for us to maintain our level of training and readiness so that if, in the event a hurricane comes through, then our volunteers are ready to be mobilized, our resources are ready to be mobilized, our movement is ready to be mobilized, and that means having had to engage a lot of our volunteers on the family islands, for example, to keep them up to date on the training. We send people off to train in other parts of the world as well on issues to do with disaster management, risk recovery, and the rest of it. So we're ready. We're hoping that we don't have to be. We're hoping that this is going to be an uneventful season.
Sumner says the trauma of Hurricane Dorian in 2019 still drives much of the Red Cross strategy today. The storm revealed deep gaps in national response and left long-lasting psychological scars on survivors, many of whom continue to seek help. In addition to emergency aid, the Red Cross has been increasing its focus on psychological services, ensuring communities not only survive storms but are emotionally equipped to recover from them. Efforts are also underway to strengthen resilience, particularly in vulnerable communities.
It taught us that we've got to be more aware, more acutely aware of what's going on in our communities and being sure that our communities are built with a level of resilience that would be able to mitigate against those kinds of instances from happening again. So there were a lot of lessons learned, life lessons learned, practical lessons learned, and has caused us to put systems in place to ensure that we don't repeat those situations that we would have faced in 2019.
All right, if you want to see that story again, it's available now at ournews.bs. Well, this weekend, Urban Renewal is inviting Grand Bahamians to take charge of their health. On Saturday, May 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., the organization will host its second Public Health and Wellness Fair at the Obadiah Hercules Wilchcombe Complex in 8 Mile Rock, Grand Bahama. Residents will have access to a wide range of free services from healthcare professionals, including blood pressure and glucose screening, vision tests, dental and foot checks. The event will also feature informative presentations on cancer awareness, healthy diets, and overall wellness. Urban Renewal's Deputy Director, Senator Kirkland Russell, says the fair is open to the entire island, and he's calling on more organizations to get involved on that day.
Bring those that are disabled. Bring the young people. We want to see children. A lot of these non-communicable diseases are also affecting our young people. And so from the vision to the dental care to the screenings, we want to encourage parents to bring their children out and have them screened. Of course, we will have little candies and little other treats.
Urban Renewal member Shirley Bain says health, education, promotion, and prevention are key.
You want to educate the persons about the signs and symptoms of the disease process so as we not overwhelm the hospitals. We want to teach about prevention, the healthy lifestyles, the eating habits, the exercising, and then we want to promote these healthy lifestyles and educate the people. And so when we know that the health of the nation is the wealth of the nation.
All right, such a great effort. And that event, again, is Saturday, May 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the 8 Mile Rock community. If you want to see that story again, it's available now at ournews.bs. And remember, we're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. With that, we thank you so much for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already trust.
Hey guys,